If you're watching this video, you probably are a sales professional. You might be a solopreneur taking your own sales calls, or you're an entrepreneur with a sales team and you want them to hit 80% in conversion rates or higher. Here's how we've done it. I'm gonna review a framework that we've used for the past 5 years that has generated over $65 million for ourselves and for our clients. This is also the system that I've used to generate over $7 million myself in the past 3.5 years in high ticket sales. Now, keep in mind, before I show it to you, this is also primarily used on closing calls, right? It can be applied to setting calls as well. The principles are similar if you're setting appointments, but this is highly effective for going for that one call close, closing that deal on the spot. You can definitely use this in person, but I've named this system VSS, the Virtual Selling System. Virtual because we've done $65 million in sales virtually in the past 4.5 years. All of our sales teams, we've built over 10 sales teams. They've all been remote sales professionals, and they work just as great as any in-person sales professionals would. You can most definitely apply this framework and this system to your sales, whether it's in person, online. Test it out and let me know. So here we go. How do we get to 80% conversion rate? So we use this framework that I came up with many years ago. And it's different from the stuff you see online, right? You get all the, a more common framework would be intro, set the agenda, ask qualifying questions, make your offer, right? And then handle objections, then close. A lot of us who are doing closing conversations over the phone or on Zoom, on camera, we're used to that sort of framework. And that's a cool framework, but what I found was that the issue with just a framework like that is that it's very choppy. What I mean by choppy is that a lot of beginner sales professionals or even entrepreneurs that are doing sales, they try to hit all these questions that are in front of them in their mind like a checklist. And it sounds like they're interrogating their prospects.
Wake up! I need you to be focused.
It doesn't actually sound like they're flowing. And that's an issue, right? Because when they're not in flow, it literally sounds like an interrogation, and no one likes to be interrogated. So the virtual selling system makes it really easy to flow and be natural and actually conversate with your prospects in a very human way, okay? So let's get into it. So the first step is connect. What does connect mean? Well, that's basic, right? It's simple. Well, here's the truth. A lot of sales professionals don't actually know how to connect with their prospects for a multitude of reasons. Number one, they're afraid to be vulnerable. They themselves can't look in the mirror and look at their self-esteem, self-confidence. They might not even love who they are in the mirror. Number two, they're afraid to go deep. They are afraid of asking and talking about uncomfortable stuff, like that divorce, like that bankruptcy, like that business failure, or going through personal pains like time with kids, time with family. They're afraid to go deep. And I think the final reason why people don't connect is because they were never trained to do so. So hopefully by the end of this video, you have a new perspective that helps you get your conversion rates. Even if I help you get your conversion rates doubled, maybe not 80%, but maybe from 20% to 40%, wouldn't that be worth you watching the rest of this video? Wouldn't that be beneficial? Yeah, of course, right? So what did I just do there? That was a trial close. And that's actually part of the understand. But before I jump forward, I'm getting ahead of myself. The way we do connect in the virtual selling system is basically to say, hey, Mr. Prospect, so good meeting you. How's your day going, right? And then I get sales gurus saying, oh, don't say that line. That's such a common line. It's not like that. When you're connecting, you're just literally connecting. It might be a bit of fluff in the beginning, right? It might be a bit of small talk, but that's okay because you're gonna go into deep stuff very soon, right? How are you doing? Oh yeah, I'm having a good day. Okay, how about you, right? So it's like, basic small talk, basic pleasantries. But the difference that virtual sellers with this system use is they set a very strong frame. Hey, so Mr. Prospect, before we go any further, just wanna let you know that the call today is to see whether we're even a good fit to help you out. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if I can help you. So we're gonna go through this conversation, and if it's not a good fit, no problem. I'll point you in the right direction to one of my partners, one of my friends. And if it is a good fit, then I'll give you a really great reason why you should get started today. Sound fair? Oh, and before we begin, we're also looking for a very specific kind of entrepreneur. One that is willing to hit 8 figures, 10 mil a year, at least do 5 mil a year. Someone that's not willing to stay at 6 figures, 7 figures, right? Low 7 figures. So if that's not you, that's perfectly fine. But I wanna make sure that we're also bringing in the right clients for our business. Sounds good? So what did I just do there? Well, I just set a frame, and that's the entrepreneur frame. What that means is that the rest of the conversation will be framed within that structure. So if someone starts giving me excuses like, oh yeah, I'm gonna think about it, right? Oh, hey, Mr. Prospect, would an 8-figure entrepreneur say that? Do you think a successful person takes a long time to think about decisions, or when they see something that really makes sense and they trust it, they go for it because time is of the essence? Which do you think a more successful entrepreneur would do, right? So that frame allows me to also nullify objections in that specific way, okay? So connect, set the frame, go. Understand. There are 3 key concepts of the understand system: takeaways, trial closes, and challenges. Way too often, sales professionals don't know how to implement these 3 things. What's a challenge? I'll give you a perfect example. I have debt to pay off, but I'm really against debt, Joel, and yeah, I'm just not interested. I'm not gonna get more debt to do things. A challenge would be, that's interesting you said that. I used to think like you, right? I used to believe that until I met a mentor. He shared with me the concept between good debt and bad debt. Have you heard of it? Can I take 2 minutes to quickly share that with you? Prospect goes, yeah, sure. And then you go explain, right? Good debt are things like assets. They're things like your house. Things like when you invest in your business, invest in yourself, in your education. Bad debt is like liabilities, right? Getting a fancy car that depreciates once you drive it off the lot. So do you think investing in yourself is considered bad debt or good debt, Mr. Prospect? So that is a challenge. That is a perspective shift, right? So we're challenging them because we're asking questions to understand. But not only do we need to understand people, we have to challenge their limiting belief in their status quo. Sales is a transference of energy. In order to get people to take action and invest and to buy and to do whatever you want them to do, you have to move them out of their comfort zone to a new comfort zone. If they don't move from their current state, there's no sale that's gonna happen. So when you understand somebody, not only are you saying, oh yeah, I understand, I agree with everything you say. No, that's not correct. You don't agree with what they say. You understand so you can challenge them. That's how you move people out of their comfort zone. Okay, trial closing. I did an example of that earlier in this video. I said, if we could get your conversion rate from 20% to even 40%, right? Would it be worth you watching the rest of this video? And in your mind, it probably said yes. That's a trial close. Let me demonstrate another example. If you found this valuable so far, type yes in the comments or put your hands up, right? You see people do that on webinars all the time, on challenges, right? So this is a trial close, and too often on sales conversations, sales professionals don't do this enough. One of my favorite trial closes is this. When a prospect tells you, this is my pain, right? I've been trying to lose weight for the past 4 years and I can't shed more than 5 pounds. And then you ask them why they think that's the case. Well, I've just been doing this on my own, and I think on my own, I'm not accountable. I don't really push myself to go to the gym. I make excuses, right? It's always wet and cold and I want to sleep in. That's interesting you said that, Mr. Prospect. So you're telling me if we assign our head coach to you, Michael, who's been doing this for over 10 years, he's helped over 1,000 women lose over 30 pounds in 90 days. If Michael was to coach you for 90 days, every single day, hold you accountable, you're telling me then that's highly likely that you will actually lose weight this time. Is that correct, right? Yeah, you're right, that is correct. That's a trial close. So a lot of times sales professionals don't do this enough, and that's why they can't close deals, right? The last part of the understand framework is takeaways. This is huge. Takeaways, meaning that we don't need this deal more than you, Mr. Prospect. You need us more than we need you. Here's my favorite takeaway. I did it in an example in the connect stage for the frame. I'm not sure if we're even a good fit yet. We're just gonna figure it out. And if it's not a good fit, no problem. I'm gonna introduce you to one of my buddies who can help you with your problem, right? That's a takeaway. Mr. Prospect, why invest hours of your time, go through more blood, sweat and tears, invest more money into starting your own business? You already have a full-time job that's paying, 100 grand a year. Why would you want to go put more hours into running your own side business? That's a takeaway, right? They will now justify to you why they want to open a side hustle so badly. Well, you don't understand, Joel. I've been dreaming of this my whole life. I've never wanted to be stuck in a rat race. I've always wanted to own my own business, so I will do whatever it takes to do this. Oh, okay, Mr. Prospect, that's awesome. Are you sure though? A lot of people give up within 6 months. Are you sure you're not gonna give up? Right? Takeaways. So this is key to the understand phase. Now we move on to the offer. I call this the perfect offer. When you do a lot of trial closes, you will know when the right time is to make an offer. One of my clients, Brandon Carter, King Keto, when his sales team came to me 5 months ago, their sales calls were 2 hours long, like 1 hour 45, 2 hours long. And I was like, holy crap, this is way too long. We gotta shorten everything down. Now, after working together for about 3 months back then, We went from 2 hours of sales call down to an hour. And nowadays, they could get stuff done in 45 minutes. What can you imagine doing with an extra hour of your time, right? Knocking those sales calls down. And the reason why is because they understood the understand portion of trial closing, which tells them when to make the perfect offer. So they don't have to go around the bush and talk and talk and talk about fluff that doesn't really affect the deal, right? So when you make the perfect offer, all you gotta do is you keep it really simple. Whether you have slides or not, I don't have time to go over the perfect slides today or slides that sell. I have a program for that called Slides That Sell. You can get that to learn how to build great slide decks, right? But for offer, you just have to show people, number one, what is so unique about your offer and why you're so confident it's gonna get them results, right? So uniqueness and confidence for trust. Show them this quality. You show them speed. How likely are they to get the result, right? How fast? But also the experience, right? You could fly to Fiji. You could fly there on a plane. You could fly there on a private jet. You could take a speedboat to Fiji. You could take a rowboat to Fiji. Which boat would you rather take? So when you focus on the offer, if you have 3 pillars, such as quality, speed, and maybe access, right? You just have to hit on these things. And one of my favorite ways to not even guess about what offer to make and, oh, here are my 10 deliverables, right? You get weekly coaching, you get one-on-one calls, you get this course, you get this Facebook group, and you go down and down and down, and the prospect is sitting there like, okay, is to ask them a very simple question. Price anchoring. If this program costs you $10,000 today to invest, if it costs you 10K, what would you need? Tell me 3 things you would need to justify that investment, right? If you were to drop 10K today, and let's say you could afford it and you liked it, what 3 things would you need? They'll say, oh, I want a guarantee. Cool, what else? I wanna make sure there's one-on-one coaching. Awesome. Well, I wanna make sure there's gonna be some kind of community that holds me accountable. Great. So Mr. Prospect, if I have these 3 things, you're in, you're good. We talk about that and you like what you see and it makes sense and money wasn't an issue, you're good. And they go, yep, I'm good. So that's how you make the perfect offer, right? The inspiration part is what I call the objection nullifications. When you nullify objections. Why do I say nullify, not handle? Because in the past couple of years when I've handled objections, they've always come back up. They come up in the beginning, they come out in the middle, they come out at the end, right? And I'm like, I'm not actually burying the hatchet. How can I bury this objection so deep that it's never gonna come up again? And that's why I call it nullification. Because when you nullify something, it goes to 0, it disappears. So objection nullification, I literally teach the difference between a surface level objection and root level objection. There are really only 3 real root level objections and everything else is surface level. I wanna think about it, that's surface level, right? I don't have enough money right now. That could be root, but it also could be a surface level. It could be a lie, right? Let me talk to my spouse business partner. Could be root, but oftentimes it's surface level. They don't have to trust in your product yet. The big reason why people don't invest in your solution right on the spot is because they don't fully trust that what you do or what you say you're gonna do is going to work for them 100%. So think about it this way. If I was to walk up to you and say, look, here's the contract. If you sign this contract, you're gonna get $1 million in 3 months, okay? I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the world would sign that contract, right? So even if you told somebody, hey, I guarantee you in 3 months, we can help you get 7 figures or even 6 figures or whatever, right? 6 figures, 5 figures, right? A result. The reason why they're not pulling the trigger is because they don't trust that you can actually deliver that for them, or it's too much work involved, right? Like they don't want to do the work, or maybe they can't believe they can do it themselves. They don't believe that even with your system, they could do it. So by understanding root level objections, which all these surface level objections are, the 25 to 50 objections you get, they're all one of 3 things. Number 1, they literally don't have money. They cannot access funds, right? That's a real problem. They need to go make money, they need to go find money, go borrow money, okay? The second thing is fear. Fear of your program, fear of you, fear of themselves that they can't implement, lack of trust. The third thing is that spouse, right? Like maybe they really have a spouse or business partner that they have to speak to. And I'm married, so I know what it's like to not make a decision without my wife. She's not too happy about that. So sometimes I really do have to speak to my wife. And that could be true, assuming it's not smoke and mirrors. So when you understand root level objections, everything you get boils down to root level, okay? And lastly, we got transform. This is one of my favorite parts because this is so not traditional. What does traditional sales trainers tell you? Well, a sale is when you get money in the bank. A sale is when the transaction completes. I disagree. I completely disagree. A sale is when a transformation happens. A sale is not when a prospect says, okay, I've paid, now what, right? And you say, oh, thank you, right? Oh, congratulations. No, that's not a sale. A sale is when a prospect tells you, thank you, you shifted a belief I had today. Thank you for giving me that confidence to do this scary thing. Thank you for changing my life on this call, even by a little bit, by helping me see past my fears. Thank you for pushing me over the fence, because without you, I couldn't have done it today. In the text you messages, to write you an email, if you go look at my Instagram, Client Wins, you see all of my clients, sales professionals, they get thank you messages from their clients all the time because it's about transformation. Sales closing is transformation, right? It is not transactional. If you're not transforming people's lives on the calls, and keep in mind, I'm not being arrogant and saying that we're gonna change people's lives, right? On one single phone call, no. Or one single Zoom meeting, no. And what I'm saying is that you have to be shifting their beliefs, you have to be challenging their status quo, you have to be taking away the deal from them, and you have to be trial closing them, right? That's how you get to true transformation. And I'll leave you with one of my most favorite techniques, the universe close. This is great for prospects that ghost you when you want to follow up or check in on them. And this is also great to prevent refunds, cancellation, disputes. Literally, the transform phase is for people like myself in the past who have gotten a lot of refunds and disputes from prospects, right? Because I just took the money, I never actually helped them see transformation. And that wasn't helpful for them and for me, because I ended up losing money because they wanted a refund. So when you actually know how to transform people's lives, that stops. You actually get the real sale, the real deal, which is them changing their own lives and changing their belief, and that's the real sale, okay? So here's how the universe close goes. So look, Mr. Prospect, before we get off this call, because you're about to embark on this new journey to grow your business, right? Or to lose that weight, you're gonna run into some interesting things. Your car might break down, a medical emergency might happen, something might happen that you will need financial resources for that, or that will take your time away. I kid you not, this is normal. If you're religious, you might see this as God testing you, right? Because God puts strong people through different tests because they know they can go over it, get over it. You don't believe in God, it's the universe testing your next level, your next ceiling. When you break through this next ceiling, you're ready for the next thing, you're ready for the next success. So it's very normal, it's gonna happen to you, right? I guarantee it, something's gonna happen. And when that happens to you, I mean, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna give up? Or are you gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna make this program work. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make this happen because I come so far, I'm not gonna turn around. I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna change my life, I'm gonna change my business and get to my goal, right? Try that technique. Use that on follow-ups before they get off the call, and also use that once somebody closes. It's the same exact thing as saying, well, you're not gonna call me back next week and ask for a refund, because if you are, we shouldn't do this. And also, hey, Mr. Prospect, congratulations. I'm so proud that you're in our program. You're gonna get the next steps in onboarding, but before that, I wanna let you know that it's not gonna be easy. It's hard, like we discussed, right? It's not easy. However, it's worth it. If you can power through this, you can get through anything in life, okay? So Mr. Prospect, we're here to support you. We're here to hold you accountable. Stuff is gonna get tough. Universe is gonna happen to you, right? Test you on another level, but I promise you, just like all of our successful clients, you will get past it and you will also make money. You will also lose that weight of your dreams, okay? So that is the virtual selling system in a nutshell. Obviously, we do sales training. I do sales training. You can get access to my entire course. Examples, role play, scripts, role play partners to role play with every single day. We do all that training. We'll train you. Make sure you also reach out if you want more of that. You can find in the description a link to book a call with my team as well to talk more about the virtual selling system. But I hope this was really helpful for you, and I hope it also inspired you to do better. And this is literally how we get to an 80% conversion rate on all calls. Cold, warm, organic, traffic, doesn't matter. Paid ads, 80%, let's go. So subscribe, comment below what else you want me to talk about, and I will be sure to shoot that for you. See you later.